Siobhan, you lost your sister to suicide a number of years ago, and am I right in thinking there's only, is it 2 years between you and your sister? I mean, how do you, where do you even start when it comes to coping with that kind of loss?
There's definitely no roadmap for how to figure it out, and I was only 25 when she died and she was 23, so I think our peer groups had no idea how to deal with something like, I mean, not just death, but I mean most people at that stage might have lost a grandparent or something. Then to talk about a young person who had intentionally stopped their life was quite heavy, I think, for everybody. But I relate a lot to what you were just saying. You know, we grew up in a home with I think people medicating their own pain. There was a lot of drugs and alcohol around us, and addiction and codependency. And I think, you know, as children, you're taught that you have to overfunction for the lack of parenting that's going on, I suppose. So that was something that we were dealing with, and I think that my sister, I mean, it's hard to know everything that was going on within her. I guess what I do know is that, you know, she was very sensitive. She was pretty much became a scapegoat of a lot of the pain that was happening within the family, and she took it on, she personalised it. And unfortunately, one of our neighbours raped her when she was young, and I didn't know about this for quite a long time, actually. I remember that she just, there was this period where she locked herself in her bedroom for ages. And weeks, really like weeks, like taking time off school, just, one of the things I remember she did, she took the mirror off the wall in the bathroom and just kept it in her bedroom, and I just kept saying, oh, why are you being so strange? Why have you I need to use the mirror in the bathroom, why have you taken the mirror? And I think that she was just struggling with her identity, actually, like who was she? Because she was being told all the time in different formats that she was the bad one. And of course she wasn't. She was dealing with an incredible amount of pain. And I think that ultimately, you know, I've always wanted to use her story for good, and I've waited a really long time to talk about it in the right format in public, which I've always wanted to do, because I think that, you know, when people kill themselves, they're doing it from a place of like tremendous pain, and at the time, which was it'll be 13 years this year, there was no support for mental health. Like the mental health dialogue that we have now, which I think is so amazing, that people like the Princes,
the Royals,
yeah, it's incredible what they're doing, and how they're normalising the conversation. But then there was no understanding for her for what she was going through. Like, how does she frame her own experience? But definitely dealing with the grief of losing her, and it's something that I still feel, and I don't think I'll ever stop feeling. The way I think about it is a bit like, you know, you've got a river and it's flowing, and suddenly there's this massive rock in the middle, and in that river still has to keep flowing, and you learn to go around it, but it doesn't go away. Yeah. I've just learned a different way to live and to understand it. For me, it's really important to, I've always spoken about her. I've never felt ashamed about her or her story. And I hope that actually it will help other people in terms of my own grieving process. This thing about the stages of grief, I can feel all four in one day. You know, it's not
like 2 minutes.
Yeah. It's not like you know, a computer game where you level up and you know, okay, I've done stage one, and I'm on to stage two. You can really come back, and sometimes I just feel so sad that we grew up in a family that we did, and that she didn't have the support that she needed, or that healthy environment. And I suppose also at times I felt, you know, why did I survive? Why am I the survivor? And I don't, you know, honestly, I don't feel so dreadful about it. I know actually survivor guilt is a real big thing, and I don't know why we're different. I don't know why she lost her life, but I do know that I want her story to inspire other people to speak out and to seek support. And I think also for families that have been through suicide to do the same, you know, speak out. There's no shame in it. There's no shame in being in so much pain that you didn't know what else to do. And I think that so many, because people haven't really wanted to speak about it, so many of the social narratives are unsupportive.
Yeah.
But I do hope that now the conversation is publicly changing, and that is different. But yeah, it's something that's not easy, and if I look calm, it's because I've had 13 years to think about it, and I've been through a lot of therapy.
Yeah.
So I find the anniversary really difficult. I find myself getting really emotional, and there's lots of memories, and I suppose regrets that I got her into rehab. I was the only person, as her sister, who ever did. And I just wish that there'd been more support around her, actually. So, and those are the kind of memories that I have around that time, which is October. Yeah, it's been, I remember at the time that she died, I went for a period where I actually couldn't, about the 2 weeks after she died, I couldn't remember her. I had like a blackout, and I used to sit in my room and be like, I can't think of anything. It was almost like my mind had just gone into like this freeze of, I guess, trying to help me get through it. I was thinking a lot about her before I came here to talk about it, just being like, what would you want me to say? What do you want to be brought out of this? And I think that she was a really compassionate, kind, feeling person. She cared a lot about children, and I think those are the things that I want to use to go forwards. And I've done half marathon for a children's charity, actually connected to the Prince's charity, to try and just be like, let's use her story for good. But I can definitely say that in terms of the grieving process, it's been very up and down. It's been a number of years. I definitely had times when I was not very kind to myself. It takes a lot to get through, and I would encourage anyone who's in that situation, whether it's recently or a long time ago, to go and talk to a professional, because your friends can love you and help you and be there for you all the time and hug you and cry with you. I think you really need to get someone who knows the choppy waters, almost like has that map of the sea, to be like, okay, you're in the middle of this ocean, you don't know where you are, but there's rocks over here, there's some rocks over there, and let somebody help you. Don't feel so much shame that you can't reach out for help. So yeah, and I really hope that no one watches this and think that I haven't spent a lot of time crying, because I have. I definitely have, and I still have a lot of sadness about losing her.
Of course. I don't think you'd ever get over losing a sibling. I guess it's about learning a new norm, in a sense. Thank you very much.
I can imagine, it is hard to be around someone who's grieving so intensely, but to know that your friend who's grieving really needs you, and even if they are pushing you away, maybe isolating themselves, they're doing it from a place of great pain, and they need you to keep knocking on their door, even more than usual. So yeah, don't stop knocking on their door.
Thank you. Next time on the 7 series.
And the way that even though I had my mom's love, the way that I found to cope with it is whenever things were not going the way that I wanted, I would just think, if Dad was here, things would be different.